Welcome to Find You Fridays. It's me, Lorene. We're back. Hallelujah. We are back. Better than ever, in a brand new space, in a brand new place. And I am feeling absolutely happy about all of it. It has been the highs and lows of everything that you can imagine that was and is moving, with a few other fun little extras chucked in there just for fun and for shits and gigs, as we say. Hi Melinda, hi Debbie. How are you both? Yeah, it's been quite the journey, actually, bringing this space together, bringing all these elements that have sort of been tucked away and not been seen for a long time. So it's been quite a fun time being able to bring these out and letting them be seen. Letting them bring these out. Woo! Gotta love it. Anyway, I was just enjoying being in the moment too much. Didn't do those background stuff that I normally do. Anyway, do you like it? Something that is a bit new to this space. Maybe some people from the original days may have seen. The sound is a bit tinny. Yeah, I'm still working on the echo at the moment. So I think my camera, let me check my audio, microphone. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still working on the echo. So I do apologize about the echo. It's a completely, what do you call it? Hi, Amanda. It's a completely bare room. Like, it doesn't have carpet or anything. So, yeah, working on it. I did just have a thought as to how I might be able to help it right now. It's okay. We're just going to have to bear with it for today. Anyway, hope you all are good and that you haven't missed me too much over this last couple of weeks. Anyway, as I was saying, there is a friend in our room again. I have not had him in our room for, a year and a half, nearly 2 years. Apart from the tree, we have missed the tree very much. It was sitting in the front hallway of the old place, but the tree is back. And the other thing is we've got Henry or Harry, depending on what he decides to call himself, and he is sitting over there. You might see him back there. You might see Ace back there sometimes, and Harry, Mr. H. He is the one that actually helped teach me the location of the body parts. So when I was still learning where all the different things were, because, I love biology, but I didn't get to do biology. I didn't know where the liver and the spleen was. And, when we're talking energetic healing, there's a difference between heart healing in the center and heart healing in the actual heart. So it's like the center is kind of like where your heart chakra is versus your actual heart. Your liver, your spleen, your kidneys. Like I had a rough idea of where kidneys were, but good old Mr. H back there, he really helped. So you might see them shift and change from time to time. Today, we've got Mr. H. And in my actual healing room, which was just over there, Tudor is back. So Tudor, Henry, and Ace have all been in my pod for the last year and a half, because there was no way they were going to be welcome in the other place. So they stayed in the pod. But now they're here and loving life again, being seen and heard. So yeah, I have to say, one of my friends who helped me unpack, they're like, what the fuck is that? Why do you have a mannequin? And I'm just like, it's a healing thing. So yes, fun and games. So I have like lots of things within easy reach now. I don't have to like zoom off camera or anything to get things mostly. All my normal stuff that I reach for is right here. Even You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. She's right here with us too. How cool is that? So yes, loving it. All right, let's get us onto this weekly reading. And oh, that's interesting. And let us. I should have put them away in the smelly box so that they could get extra smelly. Let's see who wishes to come and play for the weekly reading, please. Okay. I have missed you all, I have to say. Hi, Lisa. Lovely to see you. Nice to see you, nice. All right. So this reading is for the 8th of February through to the 14th of February for the collective. It's going to be very different having a dedicated podcast room. So cool. So yes, I will be getting like sound dampening things. It is a bit tricky because I am renting, so I can't attach stuff to the walls and things, which is a bit of a pain in the bum, but we'll figure it out. I have a funny feeling even if I just get carpet or like a rug for the floor, that will actually help with the sound quite a lot. Ooh, Amanda, it's your big week, your big 50. Woohoo! How exciting. How does it feel to be back on the mainland, Amanda? Oh, the Starlink. The Starlink is doing incredibly well. Got to take it out for its first proper run today. And I have to say, even though it says on the modem good is still so much better than what I was getting up in Mount Barker. Like, it's just crazy how much better. move some bits and pieces around so that I've got a bit more room for the cards. Oh, so nice. The temperature has dropped. So now I can just have windows open and let the air flow. So good. So good. Ooh, there we go. How interesting. All right, so for this week to come, we have the guidance of Miss Ina Segal and the Secret Language of Color cards, which is this beautiful set here. It's a fabulous companion to, I think it may have even been her first set of cards. Well, it's the first set of hers I have. And it is a fabulous companion for people who are just learning how to read oracle cards and things like that. It's Melinda, it's quite breezy here. I've closed my windows up as it's too blowy. Normally the wind for me comes like whipping through the house straight down. So like my house is quite long. And generally the wind does come that way. I haven't got the big roller door open though, so it's not whipping down there as much. But no, it's nice. It's nice at the moment. It's just kind of chilled. So I feel very happy. Amanda says, great. Moving more than 100 kilometers from where my house was has made it feel more real. Yes, absolutely. That absolutely will do it. The wind is rocking my house at the moment. Well, I've had lots of wind lately, so perhaps it's your guys' turn. Oh, Hawkeye Rick. Hello. How are you all wonderful beings living today? Fabulous. I would say about 95% unpacked, 90 to 95%. And I'm feeling really, really good about it. I was actually able to run around with the vacuum cleaner today over the majority of the floor, and it made me feel really good. So I hope everybody else is doing well. Feel free to talk to Rick and tell him. So for this next week, for the collective, things that we are to be mindful of. Now, of course, we do have that lovely full moon energy happening on the 12th. So that's something to be aware of. You know, be aware of when there's energies, those bigger energies coming up. Be aware that those emotions might be a little bit stronger. Be aware of where your emotional state is at and kind of go, and have a bit more allowance for others where theirs might be a bit funky dunk, you know? So let us have a look at these cards. First of all, we've got Emerald, which is calm your mind, body, and soul. So we have, and it's exactly what I was just saying. When we are very aware beings, when we are lovely empathic beings, we can pick up on so much stuff. And it is really vitally important that you ask yourself, is this actually mine? Or am I just being super aware? Because more likely than not, you are. And if you have anything to do with anybody in this world, either, you know, even if you are sitting, even if you think, oh, nah, I don't even see people, but you're sitting on your phone scrolling, what do you know? Every time you're sitting on your phone scrolling and you're connecting with Facebook, Instagram, all of the social media platforms, you're instantly connecting to people. When you're listening to the radio, you're connecting to people. And that's the beauty of this wonderful world that we're living in. And I I love it that we have these abilities to do these things. It's also really important to remember that we can, all right? So when we say calm your mind, body, and soul, it's also a very, very beautiful reminder that you are to be aware of your mind, body, and soul. Where are you at today? It's not so much about where anybody else is at, because the other people will only reflect back to you where you're at. Okay? So just remember that too. Lovely full moon energy means that we are awakening our creativity. It's happening pretty much smack bang in the middle of our week. So we're going to be in a lot of shadow period over this week. So we've got, what is it? Monday, Tuesday, shadow period. Wednesday is the full moon. Thursday, Friday is shadow period. So the majority of this week coming is all full moon energy. How exciting is that? So in this time, you're going to be feeling really inspired. You're going to be aware of other stuff, other people's stuff, but you're also going to be super inspired. So allow yourself to lean into those creative thoughts and feelings, and like, if you feel like moving some stuff around. I know even coming through this year, and it's not just for me, it's been for so many people. I have seen a lot of shifting and changing happening. Loads of relationships are ending. New stuff is being created. New business opportunities are happening. There's loads of stuff happening financially. People are gaining a lot more wealth right now. It's just been so fascinating watching it all coming through and seeing how people are starting to grow, shift, change, and develop over this last few months. So the next card that we have, so when you have this creative energy, this massive boost of creative energy, lean into it, really take that by the horns and run with it. Tuesday is the best day of that week. I wonder if Amanda's birthday might be on Tuesday. And if it is, happy birthday for Tuesday, my dear. The next card is Rose, which is attracting a relationship. Now, funny thing about Rose, this card came up, this thought came up in my mind today as I was scrolling through one of my Spotify playlists, and there was a playlist there that was kind of like songs that you might create for your lover. And the thought struck me today of, we go to so much effort with a partner, especially in those early days, to be inspired and show them how much we love them. And we find these beautiful little quotes and songs that resonate and say what we wish to say in our hearts and all that sort of thing. And I just sort of thought, why not do that for yourself? What if the relationship to attract is the one with yourself? What if you could also create a playlist that is a loving playlist for you? It's not about being empowered, because we are really good at creating playlists like that. But it's, as women, as strong, beautiful women, we can do that. But what if you created a loving playlist? A playlist that, if you imagine yourself being in a relationship with another person, and see what songs come to your mind. So attract that relationship, and attract the relationship with the beautiful being that you get to create with every single day of your life. From the moment you are conceived to the moment you die, you are constantly creating relationship with yourself. And now is the time to really embrace that and create a beautiful, deep, gorgeous relationship with yourself. In doing so, we're into the indigo, which is improve your vision. Do you know how often we judge ourselves? And every time we judge ourselves, we mess up the vision of you. We mess up our own vision. And our vision is to do with where you see yourself in the world, how you see you placed in the world, your confidence, your ability to shift, change, grow, all of that sort of stuff. Every time you judge yourself, you mess it up. It's kind of a bit of a brutal realization, but it's the truth. And it sucks. So I would much rather all of you stop judging yourself. That would be great. That would be my wish for this month. For you all to stop judging yourself. And I'll do the same. I have more to say on that. And then when we stop judging ourselves, we improve our vision of ourselves, which then improves how we fit into the world and how we connect with others, because we're no longer seeing ourselves as a worthless piece of shite. And suddenly, what do you know? People start valuing us more because we value ourselves more. And it's not about being egotistical. It's about love. Love for this beautiful body that you're in. Love for this beautiful mind that you have. The creativity that you are and be. So interesting. Amanda's saying, wow, these are the kind of questions I was asking myself a couple of days ago. Yeah, I know. The energies are up. Fully up. And it's beautiful. It's wonderful. Violet is create a balanced life. So often, goosey bumpies. I just love it, right? We go from the base to the top within 3 cards, right? That's like a full kundalini thing going on there. But when you look at those cards, it's about loving yourself all the way, right? Create that balanced relationship with you. So I get the sense that this week is going to be a lot of perhaps introspection. It's going to be a lot about releasing of those old points of views and belief systems, and a lot of just being aware of what you're doing, saying, and thinking. So let's do our yummy cards. January was a great teacher and a releaser. Absolutely, Rick. Definitely, I completely agree with that. There was a lot of releasing done in January. And yeah. Hi, Tony. Thank you. Hi, Jocelyn. Lisa, sold my house this past week, just waiting for it to go unconditional. Nearly 2 years later. Congratulations. The absolute most perfect person came to you. So how good is that? We got receptive as our yummy card. So it is definitely the time to be receptive to not only the signs and the signals and all of that sort of stuff. It's also about being receptive to the gloriousness and the wonderfulness that you be. Tony, I never thought of doing that with a playlist, even if I'm single. Oh, yeah. And that's the most fascinating thing, is it just struck me, like, we go to so much effort for everybody else, but we don't do it for ourselves. And I thought, why not? Why not? So it's like that particular playlist, it was one that I'd created a while ago, and I went and I renamed it. I think I renamed it to, what did I rename it to? I can't even remember now. Love Songs to Me. And there's like some fun ones in there, and there's lots of just those deeply profound kind of, I'm enjoying being in your presence. I feel like I've found the best thing in the world. You mean the world to me, all those sorts of things. And what I actually did is I had them playing while I was getting ready for my session this morning. And so I was singing them to myself in the mirror. And I just went, wow, this is like massive. Wow. So there we go. Oh dear. Let it flow, let it flow. I agree. Mr. H got released at the end of January and he was happy about that. I'm excited for you guys to meet Ace as well. He popped in there at the last minute. Initially, he wasn't even going to be on the screen, but he's just managed to sneak himself over there. Oh dear, sorry about that. It's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be a very interesting week. All right. So, Edwina, are you in the house, my dear? Have you managed to pop in yet? I haven't seen you say hi. So just while I'm waiting to see if Edwina is around, over this last 7 days while I've been moving, I listened to a book called The 4 Agreements. Now, I'm sure many of you may have read this or been aware of it. It's been around for a long while, and it's by Miguel Ruiz. And it's only like a 2.5 hour audible, not long at all. And for those of you who haven't read it or listened to it, I'll give you like a little, my experience with it. It was deeply, deeply moving. There was something that clicked in my brain, in my body, in my soul, in my being by listening to this book. And I realized that the concepts have actually been woven through my life through other mediums and modalities, but never been so succinctly put in such a way that quite clearly I was receptive. In this moment in time, I was really receptive to hearing the messages of the 4 agreements. So I actually have it printed out here on the side so I can read it out to you. And the 4 agreements, the first one is to be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. And for the longest time, I would find it very, very difficult to have meaningless conversations with people. And I realize now that's because gossiping and stuff is actually not that fun for me. I don't actually enjoy it. Hi, Brian. Lovely to see you. I really don't enjoy it. And yet, while working in some pretty big teams, I realized that gossip was the thing that kind of seemed to hold a team together, weirdly. And so I know that there's been moments where I have dabbled, not proud of it, but there have been moments. And I realized with this particular agreement that that's why it never felt good. It never ever felt right and I'd always walk away feeling a little bit heavier and a little bit more crunchy, and it's an interesting one to not gossip. And there's a real difference between sharing something for the greater good, a story or something like that. But when you gossip, it's more hurtful. It's about creating the trauma drama. Sometimes it's about trying to create connection points with other people. And the thing is, if you really look at that, creating trauma and drama with people so that you can connect with them, are they really the people you want to connect with anyway? I don't think so. Yeah, who'd want to gossip? It's like those, the trashy magazines and stuff like that, the women's weeklies and all of those sorts of things, the newspaper. Even the news itself is gossip. And I don't like the news. I hate the news. And I don't, it's not something that enthralls me at all. I would much rather talk about concepts like the 4 agreements of energy healing, of amazing things that people are doing in the world. I'd much rather hear people brag about the things that they are doing really well and succeeding at than hearing them gossip and bring down other people just so that they feel good about themselves or whatever. Or, judging other people. Because that's to do with being impeccable with your word as well. It's like not judging yourself, not judging other people. And that's really, really important. The second one is don't take anything personally. And they mean anything. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. So this is a tricky one for a lot of people. Because when something's said directly to you, about you, having enough capacity, enough nous, enough space, spiritual space within you to go and look at that from a neutral zone, even though it's happening in real time, to then go, that's really interesting. I can see that you're frustrated, angry, hurt, sad, feel like you have to defend someone else, whatever it might be. And now you're projecting that onto me. And it's not about not being accountable for your own actions, because that's important to be accountable for your own shit too. But what it is important is when stuff is projected at you, and it's happened to me a few times over the last couple of weeks, and I've been able to sit back and go, they're stressed. They're stressed about their environment. They're stressed about finances. They're stressed about the team. They're stressed about whatever it is. And that happens to have come towards me. But it's not to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. And so when somebody cuts you off in traffic or gets really up close to you or whatever, it's nothing to do with you as such. Sure, if you're traveling like 20 k's below the limit and people are getting cranky, it's still actually not about you. It's about them. They're the ones that are cranky because they're rushed. They have shit going on in their lives. And you can just give them peace. Give them the space. Pull over. Let them pass you. You know, that sort of stuff. Take a breath when somebody's right in your face. Take a breath. And as Hawkeye just said, I say let it flow through you. Have a strainer handy so you can keep the bits that you need. Yeah, absolutely. There's always little nuggets of learning in there, but not all of it's for you. Definitely not. Just, it's about space. It's about the breath. Because the thing is, you guys are all the shining lights of how to be in the collective. And the more that you be the example, the easier it's going to be for others to find their way. How cool is that? That's number 2. Don't take things personally. I might leave 3 and 4 for a little bit. And service to Rick says service to others versus service to self. Yes, there's a big difference between service to others and service to self. I like to do both. However, it's important to service yourself first. It's kind of like your car. Like you can't go driving around all over the place and expect your car to keep working 100% of the time perfectly for years and years and years and years and years without services. And it's the same for you. You can't expect yourself, we're clearing some energies. We can't expect ourselves to keep running around after everybody else, being of service to everybody else without taking space and servicing ourselves. In all the ways. And if your mind just went to where mine went, that's why we're friends. All right, so I'm going to leave 3 and 4 just for now. But if this stuff sounds really interesting to you, I highly recommend you grab the book, The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. And of course, I know you meant deeper than that, Rick, but yes. You know me, I love a good analogy. Okay, seeing as Edwina hasn't popped up yet, Melinda, would you please be able to pop your question in the chat? Oh, Brian's read it. Fabulous. I haven't gotten on to the other ones yet, like the 5th agreement or anything like that. These 4 agreements are just still sitting with me for now. And I love the 4th one, the 4th agreement, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Rick says, I love your energy. Don't let them dim your light. No, exactly right. That's why we have lights here. Oh, dear. We love it. We love it, don't we? Melinda, which cards wish to come and play with me, Linda, today? Cool. And thank you. You can't keep this crazy little Kiwi down for very long. Tony, Don't even talk about hot weather. We've been getting, in this whole week that I've been moving and unpacking, we've been hitting 40s. Brian says, I love all the Ruiz family books and the cards. Tony, 21 is our very pleasant winter day here in South Australia. We love a 21. 21 to 23 is very, very pleasant for us. So, yes, it's been very, very hot. We've hit 42, I think, 41, 42 a couple of times, but mostly it's been highs of around 37, 38, 39. It's been very, very fucking hot. And given that my place is inside a tin shed, yes, it's huge, very hot. Yeah, 21 to 25 is really pleasant. But the thing is, I think also we wouldn't necessarily appreciate a 21 to 25 if we didn't have those extremes. So if we didn't, because we're so lucky here in South Australia, we are very dry heat. So it makes it actually a lot more tolerable. Yes, you get sweaty, but it's dry. Humidity knocks me about something chronic. So if I had to have anything, I'm really grateful for the high dry heat rather than it just says 21's a little chilly. You're funny. So I prefer to have a high dry heat than the humidity. Tony, you've got heaps of humidity in Hamilton, but that's because Hamilton is built on reclaimed swampland. So, oh, Rick, I feel for you, been 40 plus for weeks. But again, you get used to what you're surrounded with all the time. And it's not pleasant over the 40 pluses. So yeah, Melinda says humidity knocks her around as well. Yeah, it does. It's awful. But again, no judgment. It just is what it is. It just seems to sap the energy in a different kind of a way. Yes, I remember, Rick, that you're at Uluru. Very hot up there. I think I'll come visit when it's not so hot. I imagine you get a lot of overheated cars, and yeah, no water. That's fun. That just makes me want to have another drink of water just for you. How do you handle the water situation? Do you get water trucked in? I'm curious now. And Tony said Singapore was dry. I prefer dry heat. Amanda prefers 25 to 27. You know, we are very lucky here in South Australia. Yes, we get up to, I think, what's the hottest I've ever had here? I think it was 46 degrees is the hottest I've ever had here. 46-ish. And the coldest I've ever had is 0. That was like once, maybe twice. It's not normal to go down that low here in South Australia, and it depends on what part of Adelaide you're in and stuff like that. But down on the plains, which is where I recall most distinctly getting the 0, in Port Adelaide actually, and we got frost and everything. It was like, whoa, this is amazing. But yeah, we're very lucky. We get quite a good variation of temperature, and so like I think on average, and Amanda, you could confirm this for me. Amanda and Melinda can confirm for me or corroborate with me. The lowest on average is around about maybe 10 to 12 degrees in the wintertime. So it's not really that massively cold. It is, but it's not for a Kiwi. But yeah, we do get those single digit mornings, you know, the 7s and 8s and things like that. I certainly got more of that when I was up in Mount Barker. A lot more of those single digits mornings, the 5, 6, 7s, but not down on the plains. So Rick is answering me about the water. Okay, so you've got no water as in the rivers and swimming holes, etc. You have it underground. Gosh, the wildlife must really struggle through the summer. Did they like head north for the summer? Or, yeah, you know, instead of heading south for the winter like they do in America. Tony has experienced -3. I have experienced -12, but that was in America. Yeah, I agree, Melinda. We definitely require some rain. That would be nice. Filthy. What was filthy, Rick? Do you know what? With the -12, and it was more than that with wind chill factor, it was, you actually get to a point where you don't really feel the cold. It's cold. And I imagine, Rick, that's kind of maybe how you feel in the heat. It's like you just get to a point where it's just hot. And it doesn't really register anymore how hot. It's just hot. Amanda doesn't want to experience any minuses. Thank you. Oh, why not? Why not? You're traveling around. You can always move. Oh, no, it still hits. Okay, interesting. I mean, I know because where I'm living now is actually in the middle of a paddock. And it is very hot. It's very dry. It's flat. It's actually old market gardens, and it has a beautiful Halloween-esque aspect now, because you know all those lovely greenhouses that you would have seen back in the day. Well, for most of the property now, it's just got like the greenhouse fabric is just like hanging, dangling. It's a fabulous deterrent for anybody thinking that anything of value is in here. So yeah, it's very dry, quite dusty at times. So yeah, it's kind of like, I can imagine, Rick, that you would experience a similar, if not hotter, obviously, than what we do. So I'll have to take a photo sometime and show you guys. But yeah, it's quite funny. I think, you know, come Halloween, I might just put some lights up there and just go, hi, it's Halloween. All right, Miss Melinda. It's funny, I was talking with the electricity people today, and the lady, we were talking away, and she goes, oh gosh, you make me laugh a lot. And I said, oh yeah, I'm always good for a laugh. And you guys just reminded me of that. Interesting. So Amanda said, oh, Rick says summer here is hideous. I can imagine. I mean, I can't relate yet because I haven't been there, but I can imagine. Just with what I've been experiencing for the last few days, it's just like it was hot throughout the weekend. It dropped off for a couple of days and then it went hot again, and then it's slightly cooled off again, and I'm just like, oh, so grateful. What is the temperature what we have now? It is 8:56. And it's saying it's 21 degrees right now at 8:56 p.m. So right now it's lovely. It's the time to open up all the doors and all the windows and just let that nice cool air flow on through. I bet you, Hawkeye, that's what you would love to. You'd love some 21-degree nights. Amanda says, it's the desert though, Hawkeye. Must normally have cooler nights. Being born and growing up in Alice, I know we had those heat waves, but relief would come eventually in the mornings. I forgot that you grew up in Alice Springs. Yeah, Amanda, 21, your magic number. Sometimes. He says in winter it's cooler, but not now, 39 at 11 p.m. Yeah, that sucks. Hope you got good aircon. All right, Melinda, back to you and your cards. So we've got some interesting cards that have come out for you. These, of course, are our Ina Segal Heal Yourself oracles. So your team, so Heal Yourself, sorry, I didn't mean to put that finger up, Ina Segal. Cool. Melinda's down to 18. Nice. But you live a lot closer to the ocean, so you get a lot of the cool changes first. I'm way further inland now. So, yeah, I got like mini desert and disused greenhouses. And then, what do you call it? An airfield. So it's just hot, dry, flat. Mm-hmm. The first card that you've got, darling, is rejection. So the message here is to use rejection to grow and expand and build yourself. And your action on this card is to take pen and paper. On one side of the paper, write down what you are afraid of, especially in terms of being rejected. And on the other side, record how you can use your rejection to succeed, and then take action with confidence that rejection can be your friend. So your rejection energy is going to be up this week, it seems. And it's not necessarily that anything in particular is going to reject you, whether it be work, people, whatever. But perhaps there's just something sitting in your world that you're afraid to try because of rejection. And that's where I get the sense of this is actually sitting, that there's, you remember all that lovely forward energy, that creative energy that is popping up for this week coming with this beautiful full moon. There's going to be some stuff in there that you're like, yay, and then go, oh. So what is the thing that is holding you back? What are you afraid of? Why are you do some work on looking at those elements of rejection and I don't want to say why, but it's identifying those elements as to what's holding you back from taking the chance. Okay? Take a chance and to have confidence that rejection can be your friend. It's a way for you to fine tune, not to stop you. Okay. Rick says 22 is cold. That's all perspective, isn't it? Yeah, I love talking about the weather. I'd rather talk about weather than gossip. Just saying. Give me the weather any day. All right. Number 10, which is pay attention to signs. The signs are all around you. Open your mind and pay closer attention to your environment. Your angels know that you have been feeling lost about the direction you need to take in your life and the decisions that you need to make. They have heard your frustrations and your pleas for help. They ask you to slow down, stop focusing on the problem, and allow a solution to come into your reality. Your spiritual helpers have been organizing synchronistic events and support for you, but you keep thinking in the same stubborn way. Relax and look at life in a more creative way. And remember, all those creative energies are up this week. Pay attention to the repetitive signals and signs. A sign can come in the form of a song, a movie, a book, nature, animals, people, thoughts, dreams, visions, and so on. At times, your body also gives you signs. Your body may be telling you to rest, change your diet, or to work on challenging emotions, like rejection. Be sure to take these signs seriously. Your action for that card. Do this with a friend. Put on a song. Dance freely. Have your friend stop the song between 2 to 3 minutes, and when the music stops, make a gesture. From that position, think about your challenge from a different perspective. Ask for a sign and then repeat the exercise with a new song 4 to 5 times. Record all important insights, and over the next week, pay attention to the signs from your environment as well as from your dreams. Now, you could also do this with a timer. So you could have music playing, put a timer on for, say, 2.5 minutes. And when that timer goes off, stop, make your body into that shape. And from that position, think about a challenge from a different perspective. All right? Cool. All right. The next card is funny. Oh, I'm going to come back to that, Rick, because that came up today. Number 8 is procrastination. When we get tired, when we feel overworked, when we feel overstretched, we procrastinate on the things that give us the most joy and bring us the most, and we tend to procrastinate about the things that are challenging, like dealing with this sort of stuff. And even though it's going to give you the greatest rewards, we tend to push it away and avoid it. So you need to change your tune and stop putting things off till tomorrow that you can do today. You are being called to action. There have been important tasks that you have delayed. Even if it's something that you don't want to do, like cleaning the house, paying the bills, looking for a job, losing weight, doing your taxes, studying, and so on, now is the time to take responsibility and move forward. The point of power is always in the present. This card is showing you that there is an urgency for you to take action. If you are putting off something that is meaningful to you and doubting whether you can do it, the message is to have courage to face your fears and do what you love. What is the worst thing that can happen? You make a mistake. And even if you do, you will learn. So it's time to stop procrastinating. All right. I feel like your team's calling you out a bit today, which is very fascinating because I love it when your team does that. But at the same time, I can imagine from your perspective, it's a little bit like, oh man, team, why? Because I feel the same when my team turns around and says stuff like that to me. It's like, oh, damn it. But I just want to ignore you. I'm quite happy in my procrastination. Thank you very much. Oh, dear. All right. Your next card, Miss Melinda, is Alchemy. The path that you are on is about to go through a very powerful transformation, and nothing is how it seems. You have an opportunity to take a big leap. This is why you have to deal with your rejection stuff. This is in preparation for this, okay? So please don't procrastinate on doing the work that you're requiring to do, that your being is asking for you to do. This is not necessarily about your team, it's about your being. This is about your human experience. This is about the journey that you designed for yourself before you even came in. All right? I don't have to tell you that you're not getting any younger. And you have done so much already, but there's also so much more for you to do. And your team is doing a wonderful job of bringing you forward. They're giving you the big nudges to go, look, we are so fucking proud of you for doing what you've done and changing your jobs and working through the summer and, doing everything that you've done with your new job. And now that that's sort of settling in, we're going to ask you to refocus your attention back on you too. So that, because you've got things sort of sussed at work now. Now it's time to rejigger things at home. Again, it's time to focus back on your soul journey. And that doesn't mean that you have to give up your job. You can do them both. It's like they're saying stop procrastinating about it now. Okay? Because this alchemy stuff is coming up. You have access to the energy of alchemy, which can transform the most challenging experience into incredible gifts and miracles. Meditate and take action on your highest goals and dreams. They are on their way to coming true. Let go of your expectations. What is about to appear can surpass anything you have dreamed of. The most important part is that you are prepared and ready to receive. The energy around you is very potent at the moment, so make sure that you are using this time as productively as possible. Give yourself time for prayer, gratitude, and celebration. Okay, cool. We are going to do that process later on. Right. And before you get into your yummy card, we have healing. Now that the crazy sales season is over, my hours have reduced. Yay, you've got more time. More time for you. This is good. So yay, how exciting is that? And there'll be more sales. There always is. You'll have probably the Easter sale coming up soon. I know it's not till April, but we're already in February. So do the stuff. Oh, you've got the space to do it. Healing. Illness and pain in your body is a message for you to slow down, look within, and make important changes, like dealing with this rejection energy. Just saying. If you experience stress, feel overwhelmed, or are suffering ailments in your body, or feel exhausted and depressed, it means that your body is trying to communicate with you, which you know. Your body wants you to start treating it treating it in a more loving manner and listen to the messages it is sending you. You need to become conscious of the areas in your life that you are avoiding and procrastinating about or suppressing. Healing takes time. It's a process. Your first step towards healing is creating a safe, loving, supportive environment where you can listen to your inner wisdom. Your team's so funny. I love them. And I see Edwina has popped in. Yay! Welcome, welcome, Edwina. Be sorry you're late. You're a mum with children. That always takes priority over us, and that's a good thing. Throughout all of this process, though, Melinda, you're being asked to be open-hearted, okay? Be open-hearted in relation to you. Be open-hearted in relation to this rejection stuff. There's a beautiful process that I learned some time ago to do with rejection. Very profound, and it's using beta healing. And I feel very grateful that I have that process. And when I did it, I actually did it with, oh God, I think I did the process something at 40-something times. And it was only supposed to be initially, but I never do things as I'm supposed to. It was only supposed to be about being rejected by lovers and things like that, maybe family members. But man, I did everything. I did workplaces. I did real estate agents. I did landlords. I did family members and relationships and friends, and there was some other ones that I did that was just like real random stuff, but it was like doing this process multiple times really helped shift a lot of that rejection energy, and it was beautiful. So beautiful. Anyway. So thank you for your very, very kind donation for Find You Fridays and the brand new property, brand new room. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, Melinda. Big breath. You got this. All right. Now, jumping back to what Hawkeye Rick was saying, I've deepened my connection with my soul sister. She is the only one who truly sees me. A galactical soul connection that is out of this world. Everything now makes sense, so it does happen. Sadly, she is on the other side of the world. I absolutely know what you're talking about. So my soul sister is in New Zealand, and I was very fortunate to have reconnected with her when her and my brother got together when they were very young. And they actually produced a couple of children. So I will forever be linked to her. At the time, so we've known each other for now 27 years. But it was only within the last probably 7 or 8 years that I really started to comprehend that she was my soul sister. And I had this inner knowing there was a reason why we had to be connected and that we found each other and stuff like that. And when I went through a big shift where I basically demanded access to my Akashic records. Now, of course, I was only given as much as I could handle at the time. And it was a very deeply profound moment. And with getting a glimpse into my Akash, I took that opportunity to ask questions about my relationship with Chanel. And what I discovered was we have been anything and everything to each other over our lifetimes, over our human experiences. We have been lovers, we have been fighters, we have been family members, we have killed each other, we have tortured each other, we have loved each other incredibly. Every single possible dynamic you can ever imagine in the world, we have done. And we basically got to a point where we're going, okay, that's cool. We've done all that now. Now we can just love each other. We can just unconditionally love each other and inspire each other from here on out. Like, we don't have to do any of those other experiences anymore. And it was like, it doesn't matter where we are in the world. It doesn't matter what we've got going on in the world. We just have so much allowance. Like, it's unending allowance for each other. And it is the most beautiful, inspirational relationship that I have. And I know she's neurospicy. You know, she's someone who is very clear these days about when she requires space and when she doesn't, and when she's got the ability to hold space for others and when she doesn't. She's open, and she sees me when I can't see me. And I do the same for her. I allow her to see her through my eyes, and the beautiful, loving, strong, powerful, potent being that she is. And she's just so fascinating to me. And it's so curious because our spiritual journey has basically been paralleling each other for years, without us consciously even realizing that that's what we were doing. And it wasn't until one day we just sort of started lightly talking about stuff, and it was like, oh my God, you've been doing that and I've been doing it. Whoa, this is so cool. So, I mean, she plays with the tarot a lot, and has all sorts of different types of tarot cards and stuff. I tend to be a lot more heavily into the oracle stuff and dabble every now and then with the tarot. She can read runes, whereas I do theta healing. We can both do Reiki now. There's some things that we cross over with, and other things that we're just separate with. And it's like, it's just a beautiful combo. Like, she's a lot more into the astrology stuff than I am. But I love hearing about it. I love hearing her thoughts and her inspirations and her wisdom. And I do a lot more of the healing side of things. So it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous energy between us. Tony said, can you have a soul sister where at one stage were contacted all of the time, and now that I'm in the same city with her again, she barely contacts me? I do the contact, and yet she said she would see me all of the time like last time. Okay. Interesting question, Tony. Not one that I can answer. I would love to hear what Rick's thoughts are on that one. Soul sisters, or soul sisters as such. Hi, Judy. Lovely to have you here. As I was reading your message, Tony, the one thing that was popping into my mind was, with a soul contact, it's ease. There's a space where you just be. And if you contact each other a lot, then that's okay. And then there'll be times where you don't. Like Chanel and I, we will talk to each other. Sometimes we'll have a big run over a couple of days, and then we won't talk for a couple of weeks or a month. And then something will happen and it'll just, oh, thought of you. Or I'll wake up in the morning and I have a crazy hair day. So I send her a picture of my crazy hair. And it's a connection. So yeah, it doesn't have to be daily. Even my very dear friend in Canada, like we'll go, at times we'll talk to each other a lot, and then there'll be, again, times when we just don't. I guess what I would really ask for you at this point in time, Tony, is where is your emotional intelligence at if you're expecting her to message you or talk with you every day? So again, remembering that we don't take anything personally, what's up for you? So what is her not contacting you or messaging you back? What is that bringing up in you? What is that? Why is that for? The word why is a terrible word. For what reason would you judge her? And we've all got stuff going on. You know, this week while I've been moving, there were people that very, very kindly reached out to me, just checking in on me and stuff like that. And there was a couple of people I just didn't have a chance to get back to. I didn't have the mental space to be able to get back to them for a couple of days. But I didn't feel like they were offended by me doing that or not being able to message them for a couple of days. They were just happy that I messaged them back at all. So what's going on with you? Sounds like some journaling is required. Sounds like maybe a little bit like that message from Melinda. Maybe you're required to work on your own rejection stuff too. Okay? I know, it sucks not being able to see people. It really does. It's not about being oversensitive. It's about not projecting your shit onto other people. It's about being responsible for your own emotional development. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being sensitive. It's how you use that sensitivity, and are you using it for your greatest good and your growth and health and learning, or are you using it to hurt and harm other people? So with that thought in mind, before I jump back to Edwina for her reading, I'm going to actually talk about the 4 agreements, part 3. The 3rd agreement is don't make assumptions. This seems to be the perfect moment for that. Find the courage to ask questions and express what you really want or desire. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. So, question. Have you spoken to her? Have you asked her, hey, what's going on in your world? Not, why haven't you come see me? Why haven't you spoken to me? Hey, what's happening in your world? I'd love to hear from you. Never make assumptions. Because, and this is what I mean by these 4 agreements have been woven through my life in different ways. I've remembered many years ago being told, you don't make assumptions because assumptions make an ass out of you and me. And it's true. They do. So if you didn't make an assumption and you asked a question, what could you change? What knowledge could you have? What deeper connection could you have with her that you haven't had before? Edwina, my love, can you please put your question in the chat, please? We quite often make assumptions. We've been trained to make assumptions. I love how this book puts it. We have been indoctrinated to make assumptions about other people and situations and how things run. And it's all a big fat lie. All of it. And it's so funny because, of course, that's what the Matrix movies are all about. It's about waking us up out of the dream. And it's the same with this book. It's literally about doing the same thing. Waking us up out of the dream and helping us to see what is truly there. And the only way we can do that is by the only way we can do that is by being fully, totally accountable for ourselves. So yeah. Hi, Holly. Yay, Melinda. Good work. Like I said, it's only 2.5 hours, but it's a pretty fucking phenomenal 2.5 hours. And as I said, it really shifted something in me. So, for example, when I had, so for those of you who don't know, on Wednesday morning, I was taking my work car down to get serviced because I was like, I'm on holidays. This is the perfect time. I can go and visit some friends while I'm waiting for the service to be done. Fabulous. They'll give me a loan car. Everything was sorted. And I had gone around off of South Road onto Regency Road. There was a guy who was pulling into making mattresses into the driveway there, which is not, it's pretty close to the intersection, but I'd seen what he was doing because I don't follow too close anyway, and my car's quite heavy loaded, so I'm aware that it takes a bit to slow down. And I don't want heaps of chemicals ending up in my head, so I'd rather not have that, thank you. And so I'd slowed down gently and stopped, waiting for him to pull in so that I could carry on. And this young lass came around the corner. I was in the left-hand lane, and she was trying to, she was busy thinking about, oh no, I'm in the wrong lane. I'm meant to be in the right-hand lane. I need to turn right, and I've got to go just up, I think it was to the TAFE, I think is just across the road. And she was in the wrong lane, and she just did not see that I had stopped. And so she plowed into the rear of my car. Of course, I'm sitting there just minding my own business, and next thing you know, bam! And I'm like, oh, righty-ho, big breath. I did not lose my shit. I didn't get angry at her. I was peaceful because I knew that even though it was the work car, even though it was the car that I was driving, even though I was not doing anything wrong, she would be shaken up enough by the incident that I did not need to add to that. So I took control of the situation. I called my manager. She got her license out. We did all the details swapping. I wrote everything down for her. I even gave her a hug because I could tell she was really severely shaken up. Was I shaken? Yes, I was, because something like that's going to shake you up a little bit. But at the end of the day, there was no need for me to get all at her. It was just peaceful. She's made a mistake. She's going to learn from that. And now she can move on. I just, and this whole last few weeks, there's been lots and lots of little moments, like not quite as bad as that one. And thank God it was the work car. Thank God it was like, as in, it's not my personal car. So I'm sad to say that the work car will be disappearing because the age of the car versus the damage, like the damage is like, to get it repaired will be more than what the car's worth at this point in time. She was fine. It wasn't like she was going particularly fast, but it was just, yeah, it was just not necessary to be an asshole about it. You know, she'll be able to look at that and go, okay, Jesus, I need to be more aware of what's happening in front of me, not just what's where I'm meant to be. Like thinking about the fact that she should have been in a different lane. She'll be more aware of that now. She had lots of learning moments to take away from that incident. And I wasn't about to stop that by being an ass. Judy says, as long as you're both okay, that's an important thing. Yeah, we're both okay. Melinda said that was really kind of you, and really so you as well, to give her a hug. Yeah, she needed it. She was just like, I could tell she was borderline trying not to cry. And I also knew energetically she needed to just take a moment to just, you know, yeah, it was an interesting moment. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that nothing more major than that happened. But yeah, poor Goldie. Poor Goldie. All right. Amanda says, yes, I assume far too often it's something I'm consciously working on. Yeah. Yeah. I had a moment earlier this week where I literally said to the person whose birthday it was, I was like, would you like me to come over this evening? I do not, and I literally said, I do not wish to assume that you would like me there. Because they'd been working all day and perhaps they just wanted to chill and have their own space for the evening. And because I said it like that, it opened up the space where they were able to go and really acknowledge what worked for them. And it was me coming over for their birthday, which was lovely, but cool. And up until that point, I was just open. It didn't matter to me if they did or didn't want me there for the evening. It's more important to me that they're happy being themselves and doing what is required for them. Don't like this obligation shit. All right, Edwina, let's have a look, see what your team would like to work with. Oh, yay. I do love the Shaman's Dream deck. I must review actually what my so if you recall, when I was away camping, I actually did readings for myself for every day not every day, every month for the year. And okay, cool. Yes. So January was very spot on. Yes. I love it. All right. Highly recommend doing that. If you haven't done that yet and you have your oracle cards, or your tarot, or however you connect in, I highly recommend doing it. Tune in on each month of the year, and as you're shuffling, ask the cards to show you what is the major theme for that month, and make sure you say like February 2025, because otherwise your amazing awareness might tune in on February 3035 or maybe that's a little bit far, 2035. It's you've got to be a little bit specific. So February 2025, for example, and see what happens and see what comes about. And I just look at it as lots of little experiments. And while I was away, and it was the most fascinating 4 days being away camping. Big internal shifts for me, as you guys know. And it was good. It was good. I got to really dive into the stuff for me again. To do a lot of work for you guys, and not always for myself. It'll pop in from time to time. But certainly, these readings can be very, very, very potent. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Shaman's deck brings you, because this is the one I worked with for this year. And they seem to be pretty spot on. Ooh. It's Valentine's Day next Friday. You. You. Okay, and you want a different card for your last one. Where is it? You coming for that one? Okay. Who would get married on Valentine's Day? I mean, it's great because then you can't forget it, I suppose. That's a good thing. Tuesday will be better. Oh, Amanda, I agree. Oh, Valentine's Day comes with so much stuff around it. Because the other thing is, I really, honestly, I hope, Tony, that your daughter's marriage works out beautifully forever and ever and ever. Well, for as long as they both shall live in this lifetime, and everything else that I just said, destroy and regret, pot pop. But if it doesn't, well, that means Valentine's Day is going to really suck. So anyway, everything and all that is, destroy and uncreate, blah, blah, blah. I'm working, so we'll see what transpires. Ooh. Could you imagine? Oh, dear. Hi, darling. I've come in to buy this fishing rod. You want to go fishing with me? All right, Edwina. I'm actually going to read her first. So there is a goddess that has asked to come through and work with you. That's my perfect date. Fishing. See? Melinda says, nah, they grab the frozen pilchards out of the bait fridge. Stinky. That's like, you know, a guy that goes and farts in front of you too soon. That's not very pleasant. Anyway, back to Edwina. Sorry, darling. So Mirabai is the saint of true freedom. Okay, and she said, love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul. So who she is Mirabai embodies a love that lets us do what is right for our own lives, no matter what others might think. Mirabai, or Mira, is Bukati poet, is a Bukati poet and mystic from Rajasthan, India. She was born a princess in the late 15th century. She unwillingly married Bhoj Raj, the crown prince of Mewa, in 1516. And I'm making absolute terrible embellishment of these names, and I do apologize. She considered Krishna to be her true husband. Legends say that her husband's family tried to kill her several times for defying the social customs and expectations of a wife. But in each of these legends, Mirabai's love for Krishna would miraculously save her. She wears the Krishna tilaka, the forehead marking, as a sign of her devotion to him. Northern India in the 16th century was besieged by violent battles between the Hindus and the Muslims. Mirabai's husband, father, and father-in-law all died in the war with the Islamic army of Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire. Mirabai refused to join her husband on his funeral pyre and again defied social and cultural expectations, because in those days, if the husband died, the wife would have to go up onto the funeral pyre with him and die with him, be burned, basically. She became the central poet saint of the Bhakti movement during this difficult period in Indian history. The Bhakti movement is a spiritual path focused on the cultivation of personal love for the divine. It's a devotional form of worship that believes anyone can have direct access to the divine, regardless of sex, caste, or religion. Mirabai became the symbol of people suffering under the caste system and the persecution that ensued if anyone tried to defy the social and political standing. Mirabai's poems are lyrical paras or love songs using metric verses. They are so widely known and cherished because they relate to the ultimate freedom that Mirabai lived out her love for Krishna. So, often without even realizing it, we make choices based on external expectations, on how we think other people will perceive our actions. Mirabai is about doing what's right for you and no one else. Ultimately, only you can know what needs to be done or said. You have this one brief life, and every second of it matters. Mirabai is about standing up for what you know is right for you, even if others will judge you for it. The fear of being persecuted can convince us not to be true to who we really are. There is a love, though, that's far larger than human constructs and cultural values. Love isn't ethical. Love isn't bound by any idea of what is socially acceptable. Love is what sets us free from the expectations that bind us. Love, in whatever way it finds us, asks us to stay loyal to our own soul. Any outside force or person who asks us to betray our most intimate relationship with the divine isn't acting out of love. For Mirabai, her true husband wasn't the one she was married to. The love that made her brave, the love that inspired her every poem and action, was the divine love for Krishna. So, the laws that bound her to the strict expectations of being a wife didn't actually apply to her. Love asks us to look at what really matters to us and what we really truly value. And love asks us to bravely defy expectations in order to be our true selves. Love wants us to marry our own soul. So your soul voice meditation, perhaps write this down, is what holds me back from expressing my truth. And your intention is, love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul. So she's here for you. And that's a pretty deep, profound message. Just within itself. Like there's a lot to unpack there for you. And if she's calling to you, or rather you're calling to her, there's some pretty deep stuff going on for you in your world right now. So let us see what else the shaman's dream has for you. The first card that we've got is the Cosmic Womb card. How cool is that card? Creativity and the divine feminine. All right. The cosmic womb is a reminder that you're undergoing a beautiful process of birthing a new self into being. And clearly, my bago. Interesting. I think I just read out the wrong one. But I think that was the right one. How fascinating. Cosmic womb. Anyway, it's a reminder that you're undergoing a beautiful process of birthing a new self into being. You don't know who or what it is yet, but you know it's full of life, love, passion, and spirit. It's the perfect expression of you, imbued with love incarnate and ignited by the vital spark divine received from the divine. If you've had a difficult time in recent memory, feeling dry and stagnant or lost and unsupported, this is changing right now. You will feel newly inspired as so many ideas beckon for your attention. Know that you're safe to explore the expression of your rejuvenated creativity, releasing all judgment as your curiosity is piked. You're in the most fertile cycle of your life right now, intuitively keen with a heart wide open, mindful that each step in the direction of your dreams and desires is effortlessly supported by all the divine helpers in the unseen realms. Now, I'm really curious to know what the hell this other one is about, because $34. Okay, so she's interesting. I had to read that other one to you. I was only going to select one card. So the cheeky little buggers made me read another one for you. You've got two goddesses that are coming through for you. There's the one I read before, and then there's this one, which is my Bargo, which is the warrior saint, and I'm the warrior of love, devotion, and attracts resources and support. She is also Indian, but she's Punjab, and she was born in the 17th century. And so she gathered 40 men to fight with her. From the Mughal army. Interesting. So, sorry, I didn't read that right. When she was a young woman, her village was threatened by Mughal forces. She heard that Khalsa, or the warrior saints appointed by the Guru to defend the Sikhs, had defected and were fleeing back to their villages. My Bargos took her sword and went village to village, convincing the warrior saints to go back and protect the Guru from advancing Mughal army. She gathered 40 men to fight with her, and on December 29th, 1705, very specific, the small, courageous band of Sikh warriors rushed out to protect the legacy of their religion in the Battle of Muxtar, with my Bargo as their leader. So this is really fascinating, because it was two different women, both very, very courageous, and in two different ways. So one was basically fighting for love, the other one was fighting for peace, but they're both doing it in very different ways. So both of these beautiful women are with you. Devotion grounds, so when your soul selects her card, devotion grounds us and allows us to see how many resources are available to us. And devotion elevates our perception so that the spiritual realm can infuse us with light, strength, energy that is greater than our own. Devotion is the action that we feel compelled to take that demonstrates our commitment to love. The power of my Bargo's devotion kept the Sikh religion alive. The task seemed impossible, 46 against the whole Mughal army, but what has never happened before becomes possible through true devotion and the force of pure love. So what I'm actually getting from both of these women is that right now, you, and with that first card, you are really, truly birthing some deep love aspects, and in that your team is asking for you to bring that aspect of love through so deeply, and bring it in through every single question and every single action that you're doing, and looking at how you are conducting yourself. Are you conducting yourself from a space of love, or are you conducting yourself from a space of obligation? Are you just going along with the cultural expectations, or are you actually doing what makes your heart sing? Cultural and societal, I'll say. expectations. If you were truly choosing for you, just as the first goddess was choosing for her, she didn't jump on the pyre just because everybody thought that she should. She chose for herself. She's like, no, I'm not ready to die. I desire to be a beautiful, creative poet speaking about love. I'm not ready to die, so I'm not going to. This is your birthing process. 57 is your next card. See, the teams do funny things like that every now and then. I used to think it was such a wrongness when I would read something and the wrong word would pop out of my mouth as opposed to what I was actually reading. And I thought for a little while, maybe I'm dyslexic or something. No, it turns out that I'm just reading the energy. And sometimes the words that are written on the page are not actually the words that are required to be said. And once I realized that that's what was going on, I went, oh, okay, that makes so much more sense now. And I stopped making it a wrongness. I just said, oh, that's funny. So yes, this next card now makes a hell of a lot more sense. The unmarked trail, which is the revelation. An unprecedented experience, discovery, and revelation. You are now being called to, you are called now to embark on a sacred journey. The Arthurian knights, in their quest for the Holy Grail, had to make sure to take an unmarked trail that no one had ever followed, or they would not accomplish their goal. Likewise, you must enter the darkest forest of your soul via a route as yet unidentified to find what you seek. The manicured paths will bring you only temporary pleasure and later great pain. Stop it. You already know that there is no reward at the end of the road that you are following. You are only killing time. Pause, breathe, and commit in your heart to a sacred endeavor. Vow not to look for some old solutions that may have worked with past challenges. Get out of character, try the outrageous, and keep your quest private. Now is the time to speak the voice that called you to embark on the unmarked trail. That time will come. Now is not the time to speak of the voice that called you to embark on the unmarked trail. That time will come. The unmarked trail can be a sign that you have already made a choice, even if you do not want to acknowledge it. Be at peace with what your heart knows to be true. Your heart has already been made up, and your mind will follow. Pack lightly, taking with you only essential beliefs that you know to be trustworthy under all circumstances. The universe has your back. So when we are birthing, we're going down unmarked trails. Like when you think about your very first baby, it's an unmarked trail for you and your body. And really, no one else can tell you exactly how it's going to work out. It's impossible for them to know because it's your body. They can have a rough idea, but it's your body. And this new journey that you're on of approaching things from a space of love and unconditional love and fighting for that is going to be very different for you. I don't necessarily get the sense that anybody else in your family has ever done that before. And so you haven't got the role modeling there for that, which means this is going to be a journey that is going to be very, very different for you to be going on. And there are beautiful beings out there that have done similar journeys. So you're not alone as such. But this is a journey that you have to do. It's very much like the Aboriginal people traditionally did when the men went out and did walkabout. they went on their own. And when they came back, they went out as an adolescent. When they came back, they were men. This has a similar vibe to it. This is a journey that you're going to have to do that will be beautiful for you. It's scary. It's challenging because you've not done it before. But in the process, you'll start to realize just what is important and what isn't important in your life. Okay. This next card I've seen a lot over the last couple of months. It's the Perfect Storm card. Just before I read that, I will just read what Amanda has said. I honestly thought I was going to die my first baby. I was like, how can anyone survive this? I was only 17 and lived with my dad, who didn't really explain things to me. Exactly. But you didn't die. You survived. And it's a fascinating process. We've been doing this whole childbirth thing for as long as we humans have been alive, and yet it's still an unknown experience. Isn't that fascinating? All right, so a perfect storm, an invitation to act now, the courage to step into life and sheltering from turbulence. When the perfect storm appears, it cautions you to be ready for an exciting, if turbulent, time. The winds are picking up, and you need to make sure that you are close to the eye of the storm, or you will be buffeted by gusts that may take you far from where you need to be. The key is to remain centered and balanced and be a witness to as the forces build intensity. Notice how the loose stuff is starting to fly around and recognize how little of it you truly need. Remember that previous card where it said pack lightly? This is also to do with that. Let go of those thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that clutter your heart and cloud your mind. Then the storm will be absolutely perfect for you. If you wonder what you might lose during the perfect storm, know that it is those things that we are most attached to that are taken first, as if life were trying to unburden us of our righteous self-importance. And I'd just like to clarify with that one. What it is referring to is the things that are actually, we might hold onto the most, but are actually not serving us. Those are the things that will start disappearing quickly when this card comes up. Okay? Let it all go with the wind. The less you resist the change brought by the perfect storm, the happier you will be. Just like I was talking about earlier with the 4 agreements. Okay? Ride the winds to your next destination. Embrace the rain or the snow. Remember that every time you try to argue with nature, you lose. The perfect storm can also be a call for you to seize the moment. There might be a great opportunity that you need to take advantage of right now. Carpe diem. Here, time is of the essence. It may be gone shortly, so do not hesitate. Go ahead, bite off more than you can chew, and take the storm on in all its terrifying greatness. Experiencing the fullness of life, you will succeed. So we're seeing a really interesting progression here. We've got birth, we've got the journey being planned. This is the journey, okay? Now, what's on the other side of that journey? And that journey is basically, you have a choice. You can resist and react, or you can just go with the flow. How it turns out is up to you. It's like, I've been married and divorced twice. And the first marriage, the first guy, like, I have no desire to have anything to do with him, and that's okay. But the second guy, we loved each other so much that we actually knew we had to separate. because it was no longer healthy for us to stay together. But we're still friends to this day. We had to not talk for a couple of years, but we're still friends. And he's always going to be somebody who is very dear to me. What I'm saying is, we can go with the flow, or we can resist and react, and we can be absolute bitches. I was not a bitch in either of those marriages ending. Even with the most recent one, it was calm. It was just gentleness. It was speaking from a place of love and heart and knowing that it was time to end. It doesn't have to end with a fight. Some people believe it does. They believe that there has to be some kind of blow up for it to seem valid as to why you're no longer together. It doesn't have to be. And in fact, both of those marriages, they never really had a big blow up. There was nothing like that. It was lots of little things that got to a point where it was just like, yeah, no, we can't do this anymore. So just, it's okay to gently let things go too, okay? On the other side of the journey, we have the lay of the land, the ancestral wisdom. I love this card. I really, really do. And if Hawkeye Rick is still floating around, I have a feeling he would like this card too. Past lessons being well-informed ancestral wisdom. There are times when you are meant to discover and explore new terrain in your life, even to be a part of a wave of change. This is one of those times when so if you recall, those beautiful goddesses right at the beginning, they were the path makers of love. So clearly, you've got something really important to do. This is one of those times, and what you're contemplating is perhaps new to you, but others have laid well-worn paths and left wisdom for you to rely and reflect upon. This is why you have a better understanding of the potentials and possible pitfalls on your journey. When you know the lay of the land, you are better able to fully experience what is being offered to you. This is a wonderful time to seek a mentor or good advice from expert or elder. That way, you'll be able to meet life's opportunities and challenges well informed, knowing you have a map, and now you can be curious about what else is here. This is a path that promises success in all areas. Where others before you have dared to tread, you will discover the treasure that they have left behind for you to make your own. The interesting thing is with that one, I was getting the sense that this is actually going to be you. This is on the other side of that journey. Okay, you are going to be one of these ones who are leaving these treasures for other people. And those other people might be your children. Okay, so whatever it is, this new thing that you're having to do, these changes that you're having to make in your life that have been brewing for a little while, it's time. You're moving very dynamically forward for that, and you've got a couple of very beautiful, strong women sitting behind you to help you to move through that. So of course we've got my Bargo and we got Mirabai. Okay, so feel free to call on those two women when you're feeling lost or confused, or like you're a little bit, you don't have the strength. Of course, we know that Mirabai, she was talking about Krishna. Krishna was her husband. Well, that's who she felt was her husband. quite funny because I work with a guy called Krishna. And I have to say, he is the embodiment of the name, is beautiful and soft and gentle, but fucking hell can he work. So yes, you're up for some really interesting big movements forward, my dear. And I look forward to seeing how that goes for you. It's going to be a big dynamic shift for you over this next few months. I get the sense maybe within 2, 4, 6 months. Within this next 6 months, you're going to have some big shifts. The yummy card that you've got is guidance. So you might just be open to the possibility of reaching out to get guidance, to receive a little guidance, whether that be from, you know, a healer or a counselor or something like that. I get the sense that there's going to be some moments here where you're going to need to talk and process through what is going on for you. Okay? Edwina, thank you so much for your very, very kind donation. Thank you for being the very first person to donate for this new space that we're in. And I am incredibly grateful for your continued support for Find Your Fridays. And I adore you. And thank you so much. And I hope that reading helps and it inspires you to continue to choose what you require to choose for you. All right. Thank you. All right. Miss Tony, if you haven't fallen asleep yet. Amanda, clearly I was fine and had 2 more babies. I forgot that you had 3 kids. It was a big reading. And I appreciate you. Do you know what the best thing is about being in this space, even though it's echoey, and I apologize, and we'll hopefully have that sorted by next week. I don't have to think about the fact of being quiet. I don't have to worry that I'm going to keep someone up. And I also don't have to worry about a dog. Oh, I'm loving life. Seriously. That's a good thing. Oh, Tony's changing her questions. Okay. So yes, there's so many things that I've just gone, living on my own. Oh, so good. So good. It's interesting because there's actually only been 2 other times I've lived by myself. And there was the first one was about, what are we now, 25, so about 10 years ago was the first time. Up until that point, I'd always lived with either family or flatmates or partners. And then after that was, I lived on my own for a couple of years, and that was really cool. And then, of course, I shacked up with somebody and then decided to move in together, and that we stayed together for 4 years. And then I was on my own again. And again, I was living on my own for about a year, and then the next one came in. So I'm looking forward to having this place to myself for a while. Oh dear. No, Tony. No. No, Alex and I ended our relationship officially at the end of last year. That was when the proper conversation happened, but energetically, we had actually split up back in about May last year. So yeah, there was a lot of things going on. And yeah, it doesn't really matter about the rest of it. But basically we had the official conversation. And I just kind of went, we both acknowledged that we weren't actually together. So yeah, so we officially ended it, and then I began the process of finding a place to live, and then a month later I moved out. So I feel very lucky that I found this place, because finding a place in Adelaide is very difficult, or it can be. Yeah, it was time. We were both, it was no longer healthy for either of us to be living in the same space anymore. And yeah, it was time. There's other bigger, brighter, more wonderful things for both of us that includes us not living together. Amanda, finding the good. Like me, I'd been complaining about the wind. It was so windy on Kangaroo Island. I was getting frustrated with it. And then one day I was like, I don't have to brush my hair. No one could tell the difference. So I liked the wind. Do you know what I loved about the wind? And when I lived in Wellington as a student, and I was much smaller, I was a smaller person. So strong winds would buffer me around a bit more. And it was one of those funny things where if I wanted to walk straight, I had to walk this way to go straight. Because the wind would blow you around so much, and like nobody carried umbrellas even though it was raining, because your umbrella was ruined in 5 seconds flat. And I just used to find it so funny and with the challenge of trying to walk one way and end up having to walk in quite a different direction to get where you're going. And I often thought there's a good metaphor here. Sometimes it might seem like we're not walking on the right path, but we actually are. And it's just our external circumstances make it look like we're not. So sometimes it's not all as it seems. Yes, very windy Wellington. It was fun. And yeah, it's just about seeing it in more of a peaceful way, But yes, we also, both Alex and I, just both didn't really want to make too big a deal about everything. So it's all good. Could never run. Running was not an option. You would fall over if you tried to run. All right. Okay, so you would still like to know what your spirit team would like you to do in the next couple of months, or what you require to be aware of? Amanda says, oh yes, I remember days like that as a small child. Yeah, try being 18 and still having that. It was hilarious. Who wishes to come and play with Tony? Cool. of different cards today. This is fun. Sometimes we don't end up with all sorts of different cards. Sometimes we end up with just the one deck that decides to come out. So safe to say, I'm happy to be back with you guys. Happy to be here, happy to be in this space, happy to just have the quiet, have the chill. It would be even cooler if I put my what do you call it, the Starlink up just that little bit higher. Then I could have excellent connection, but good connection is still better than what I used to get in Mount Barker. Oh dear, that was shocking out there. Even though like Alex had a full Wi-Fi system and everything, like still terrible. So the question that I'm asking, Tony, is what would your team like you to be aware of for the next 2 months? Because at the end of the day, you are your own sovereign being. And the information that can come through with these readings, as you know, is just information. Your team will not tell you what to do because you are a sovereign being and they know that you are too much of a little rebel anyway and you won't listen. So they would much rather just give you some helpful heads ups and see what you do with it. Okay. All right. So the cards that you got are the mystical healing cards. Here's the girl. So Ina's showing her true colors today. Just the thing is, all 3 of her decks have come out. So that's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Amanda says it must be a little more enjoyable being able to be completely into your own time here without the little niggles of being too loud or wondering what the dog will do. Absolutely. And just it's very freeing. I can listen to my stuff, just openly. I can speak openly. And it's I don't have to necessarily be considerate of anybody else, which is not a bad thing to be considerate of people, by the way. But I was wearing my Bluetooth ear thingy a lot. I could wear it all day for work because I needed to because it's easier to answer calls and things like that. Or talk on the phone, or if I needed to with my team members and things. But I'd have to wear it all day at home too, so that I could watch whatever I wanted to watch. So, do you like being a babysitter? There's no judgment. Just is what it is. Releasing fear. So start viewing life from the perspective of faith. You are only seeing one tiny aspect of the picture. This is keeping you stuck in a situation you don't want to be in. Stop worrying and stressing. Things will only change when you start to take responsibility for creating your own reality. You need to come back to the present moment, breathe slowly and deeply. You have an opportunity to either create tranquility in your life or to feed fear. Only you can make that call. The focus on what you actually want to experience will bring magic into your life. Don't worry about how it will appear. Just open yourself to receive. So I'm going to take you quickly through this action because it's pretty cool, and I think this will help. Place your hands on the part of your body where you feel fear most intensely. Breathe into this area for a few moments and allow any emotion to effortlessly rise to the surface. Ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of? Keep digging until you pinpoint the deepest fear that is driving your actions. Ask, what is the worst thing that could happen to me? Take a moment and truly imagine facing this possibility. Often this process will start to dissolve the charge. Breathe through the intensity of any fear and repeat the following. I no longer need you. I no longer choose to carry you inside me. I choose to free myself and become my loving self. Focus on seeing yourself courageously moving through life. So that is your first card, releasing the fear. This is something that's going to be coming up for you over the next couple of months. Okay? So whatever you're afraid of, it's time to bring that up and release it. The next card that you've got is learn from karma. It's time to balance the scales. Your current experience is a culmination of karma that you have accrued through several lives. Each of these lives has offered you an opportunity to learn, discover, and make choices, create connections, and either evolve or devolve. You're going through a time where you are being asked to compensate for an earlier deed from this or previous lifetimes. You can either complain about it and act like a victim, or embrace the opportunity to use this experience for great inner progress, whilst taking steps towards becoming a more honorable, honest, generous, compassionate, and giving person. This is a time to go out of your way to do good deeds for others, no matter how inconvenient. Your family members are karmically connected to you, so you might look at what lessons they are teaching you and what healing you can offer them. This card also provides an opportunity to live in total honesty and integrity. This will require you to constantly check in with yourself and assess whether your actions are based on what you can gain or what you can give. And again, I'm going to go back to the first agreement, which is to be impeccable with your word. Okay, highly recommend that you get that book, The 4 Agreements. The next card that you've got is to listen to your intuition. Your intuition is constantly sending you messages. You are being asked to become aware of what your inner wisdom is trying to tell you about your health and your intimate as well as work-related relationships. There are particular aspects of your relationships that need attention and a new approach. There are certain people and experiences that you have outgrown. Change is coming, and you will need to make healthier choices. If you open the door to possibility, new people will appear in your life, and they will be able to offer you a different perspective on how you love, live, and work. Your body is also trying to give you a message about your health. There are signs and symbols all around you, and it's your job to learn how to decipher them. When you awaken your heart chakra correctly, your intuition can flourish, and you will know the difference between an illusion and a real spiritual perception. Again, I'm going to come back to the 4 Agreements. Please read that book. Please listen to that book. And if you have listened to it before or read it before, please read it again. This book will open your heart. Like I said, it was a deeply, profound shift. Okay. I think it's doing lives again because of my breathing. Been seeing a lot of 444s and 555s a lot lately. You and me both. Fours and sevens. I've been getting a lot of sevens, a lot of ones. Even my PO box is 111. Yes, it's on Audible. Yes, the 4 Agreements is on Audible. It's only 2.5 hours long. Fabulous. Your next one, which is interesting because it also lines up with what the first agreement is. Temper your criticism. Become discerning instead of critical. When you are critical, you harden yourself and literally put energetic knives into others. You also block yourself from becoming a more refined, sensitive, intuitive human being. Your healing pathways get blocked and your bones and muscles begin to degenerate. When you are harsh and critical with yourself, you lose your life force energy, your self-esteem, and you become depressed. Your ability to be flexible, think deeply, and receive new, higher wisdom is also limited. Start looking for what is good, holy, and beautiful in each person. Develop discernment whilst still encouraging yourself and others to grow. Try and see things from several angles in order to create more objectivity and gentleness in your counsel. Practice self-kindness. This card asks that you start to experience yourself and others from the world of a more compassionate point of view. Look at every challenge as a possibility for growth. All right. So this is that your team is being very, very clear right now. Your health-related stuff is to do with the amount of criticism that you've had in your world. It's also to do with opening up your intuition, and it is time for you to rebalance the karma. If you don't, at this point, basically you're going to end up reliving a life where you're having to redo this stuff again. It's now or never. Okay? So that book is really going to help you. I'm going to give you a funny little example of how much that book has shifted something in my world. So during the week, I got sent a picture by a friend, and I just want to get the names right so that I can make sure. Okay. So apparently at the Grammys, Kanye West's wife, Bianca, rocked up in an outfit that showed everything. She technically was wearing a dress, but it was sheer, and you could see right through it. You could see everything. She was not wearing a scrap of underwear. And the person who sent that to me said, "How disgusting." And I said to her, what I see is somebody who's incredibly confident and proud of their body. I said, that's a beautiful thing. What an inspiration. Right? And she goes, oh, yeah, wow, that is definitely one way to look at it. I guess I just said that because of how I think about my body, and that I would never, ever do that in public. And I went, that's right. Because it wasn't about Bianca. Her comment wasn't about Bianca at all. She was being critical. My friend was being critical, but at the same time, she was then able to course correct because I was choosing to not be critical. So I'm like, cool. She decided to wear nothing, essentially, to a very public event. And what a beautiful inspiration. Imagine if we all did that. How much better would the world be if we weren't all criticizing each other for what clothes we wear or don't wear? So there is something positive that you can find in every single person that you've had like crunchy moments with. I have done that process with my exes, and it was something that was really helped shift a lot of negative energy for me around those people. I've never really held on to grudges as such, but there was, like, especially the first husband, there was a lot of negative stuff that did go on in that relationship, a lot of abuse and things. But, you know, the things that were great about him was that he was so creative and he pushed me outside of my comfort zone a lot. I got to live in multiple different places that I never perhaps would have chosen before. I got to travel and meet lots of different, had so many different experiences, and I got to see the music industry from the musician's side as opposed to just being a consumer. There was a lot of growth and development for me personally within that time. A lot of it was on what I would never choose to do again. But it was all good stuff, really. And while some of it came wrapped up with a bit of a yucky packaging, the nuggets in there were very profound. Your yummy card, Tony, was tenderness. It's time for you to be tender. It's time for you to be gentle and not critical anymore. It's kind of like, you know, when you get a hardened criminal and they go away to prison and they come out the other side and they're like, I found Jesus, I found God, and now I know what life is all about, and I know how to be loving and kind and gentle. And that. But your God isn't about creator God. You already know about that. This is about you finding the goddess within and loving her regardless. It's about you finding that big, beautiful love that you have within your heart and sharing that. Being tender. Please get the book. Or not. It's up to you. Your team's like, nah, she's going to rebel. She's not going to listen to that book. She'll find a reason not to do it. Oh, your team's funny. Thank you, Tony, for your generous donation to Find You Fridays. I'm so grateful to you. You guys are literally keeping the show running, and for that, I am very, very, very grateful. I hope that helped. Alrighty. Amanda, my love. Finally. I'm so glad I wrote these down. Just making sure I haven't missed anything. And then it will be Christine. So Amanda, what is your question, my dear? So lovely. I'm having the tea from day 6, I think it was, of my tea advent calendar. It's like, oh, so lovely. It was so funny. Like, I think I'd actually finished the first one, or I was maybe halfway through the first one. And I was like, and I said to myself, if there's another one sitting at LD when I go there this week, I'm going to get it. And I was like, because my intention was to just start it again at January 1st. And then, of course, I knew that I was moving. And so I was like, whenever I move, I'm going to hang on to it, and then I'm going to open it once I get into my new place, and then I'm going to enjoy it in the new place. And because I absolutely love the selection. Like, there was a lot of the teas. Bye, Melinda. Hope you have a fabulous sleep. Thank you so much for tuning in. There were so many fabulous ones that I never really would have drunk before. Like, I'm not a big green tea drinker, but the green teas that were in that particular selection, mwah, beautiful. And I actually just found out this week that one of my cousins he's one of the founding members of Smith and Noble, I think my uncle said. Which are a tea distributor in New Zealand, or a manufacturer, distributor, something like that. I'm like, whoa, I had no idea. Who knew? Because I love my tea, as you guys know. Probably you don't know just how much. But yeah. Oh dear. I had to laugh as I was unpacking my tea. There's a lot of it, and I'm glad. I don't need to buy tea for a very long time. I think I have all the tea in China. It has heaps, and I'll listen this time. I don't want to go back. Yes, Tony. Good old Dilma. Good, everybody loves Dilma. Okay, Amanda, who are you going to choose? Ooh. I think all of these cards are just so excited to be in the new place that they all just want their little bit of time. Because we've got yet another different deck of cards. So how cool is that? I love it. We have the Oracle of the Fairies, by Karen Kay. So taking a break from Ina. Okay, Amanda's team, what would you like Amanda to know, please? Good old Dilma. Dilma's a lovely brand. Cool. Hello? Okay, that was interesting. I'm wondering if the weather outside is changing a little bit. Amanda, when you're using your Starlink, do you find the weather affects it very much? could be because of the position of where I've got it. But in the spot that I could have it that's a lot more open, it's out the front, and the front is very open, like publicly open, whereas at least out the back, it's a bit more private and a slightly bit more secure, and I'm not risking anybody driving over it. Oh dear. Because being a rental, you can't really it's a bit tricky to say, hey, can you please stick a pole in the ground so I can shove my Starlink on the top of it? I could ask, I suppose. Don't assume. All right. So your first card is Nature's Signs. Be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you go about your day. Nature talks to us continuously, and we need only to open our hearts and minds. The fairies love to leave hints and clues for us in nature. It's one of the many creative ways in which they initiate communication with us. For example, fairies often leave feathers or release floating dandelion seeds to let us know that they're nearby. The appearance of a friendly bird such as a robin is another message from the fairies that they are close by. I think for us it's like maybe a willy wagtail would be one of them. But yeah, friendly bird. Can you think of another one that might appear to you on a sort of a more regular basis? It's like, oh, hi. Like some people see magpies as quite what would I say, not necessarily a friendly bird. But when I see magpies, especially when they're on the ground, it's like, oh, hello. I always find them quite joyful, fun little creatures. But anyway. Fairies and other creatures often work together as they are all in harmony with the earth, those whose wisdom can come in many forms. Just allow yourself to be receptive and use your intuition to decipher any signs that you see. You could leave your own sign for the fairies next time you're out in nature, letting them know you wish to connect with them. Leaving a tiny wooden fairy door next to a tree is a sure sign to the fairies that you're a fairy friend, while placing a figurine of a fairy or a gnome in your garden or on your porch tells the fairies that you welcome them. When leaving things outside for the fairies, make sure that they're natural or biodegradable. Don't use any screws or nails because some fairies don't like metal. If possible, sit next to a flowing stream and visualize your cares being resolved and any concerns flowing away. Alternatively, imagine your hopes and wishes flowing towards you, looking out for any significant signs from nature as you do so. The fairies will pick up on your intentions and help to manifest them. If you don't have access to a stream, it can be just as effective to visualize this process. So, sometimes has to do with where the satellites are. Okay, thank you. Blue warrens. Yes, there was heaps of those up at Laratinga. I don't think I'd ever really experienced the blue wrens until then, but they are very gorgeous. I've never thought of gifting back to them. How inconsiderate of me. Don't know until you know. One of my books I can't remember which one. It may have even been to do with healing the witch wound. Maybe. It may have been with the podcast of It Turns Out She's a Witch. One of those. Could be one or both. And they were talking about when we go somewhere new. So before you leave somewhere, take like a feather or a leaf or a flower or something like that to take to the new place. And in this, you're actually gifting to the energies, or in this case, the fairies or the spirits of the new place that you're going to be. It's like gifting a little bit of where you've been, like your home or whatever. Maybe even a pebble or a rock or something like that. Maybe, you know, a little bit of what we called growing up lucky stone, which is probably silica now that I think about it, but whatever it was, you know, the little white stones that are mixed up with all the gravel. You could even, you know, just as you're out and about and you've just been on KI, so you could have picked up some shells and things along your travels. And just have these as little gifts for the spirits that you're going to be interacting with. And it's like a little way of saying, thank you for having me here. And it's like bringing a hostess gift, if you like. And I love that. I love that concept so, so much. And certainly it's reminding me that I haven't done that here. I've done the cleansing. Oh, that's so funny. I must remember to tell you guys about that. Little funny ghosty story. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, wherever you are, when you're out and about, you're having a little walk and you see something that catches your eye, it's like, oh, and you say thank you for it as you pick it up. And you say, thank you for this gift, I will pass it on, you know, or whatever comes to your mind. Your next card is protection. And I think this is actually quite relevant for you as you're traveling around, because you'll be moving your literal home through many different energies, through lots of different ley lines, through lots of different collections of spirits, etc. Protection. So the fairies of protection are shielding you with a magical fairy ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking on any spiritual work. The fairies of protection are forming a powerful fairy ring of light around you or someone close to you, providing the extra boost of protection that's needed right now. If you're especially sensitive or empathic, you might find yourself picking up on vibes from places or people around you. These might include unpleasant vibes as well as good ones. And this is where the fairies of protection come in, because their ring of rainbow light acts as a protective shield from any unwanted energies. When we're psychically open, we act as a beacon and can attract different types of energy. Some of these energies may be unwanted, so the fairies of protection remind you to use psychic protection when undertaking any kind of spiritual work or meditation, and will give you their own protection too. This card is also a reminder to make sure that you're spiritually grounded, which can add excuse me, an extra layer of psychic protection. A simple way to do this is to visualize a long tree root growing from the base of your spine, going down, deep down into the earth. The protection from a fairy ring of rainbow light can give you more confidence during your spiritual practice and meditation. So if you need an extra layer of spiritual security, ask the fairies of protection to provide it. The fairies might also be nudging you to protect someone else spiritually or physically, but always ask permission before assisting anyone. It's important to remember that we all have free will and the right to choose whether or not we'd like any spiritual help. Okay? So yeah, that's also just, I think that was just a reminder to be aware. Okay. Oh wow, I'll send you a photo today. A total ring of light. Awesome. I love that. Thank you, Tony. I'm guessing you're off to bed. It is late for you, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe he might require it, because if it depends on how you're doing the driving, who's doing the majority of the driving and things like that. Like, you can certainly, you might find along with that, you know, our expanding out tool that we do for our meditation. If you expand out, right, beyond your car, beyond your caravan, and you make that a nice big bubble around you, and just keep that expanded out space and make sure that your allowance is bigger than your awareness, what will happen is that, say, if you're doing the passengering, right, and you're doing that, he will become much, much calmer. I'm not sure what he's like when he's driving. I imagine he's not too much of a rev head, but I don't know. But if you find that he's getting a little bit cranky with the drivers on the road or anything like that, expand out and expand out your energy, and expand out your energy beyond your car, beyond the road, up into the sky, down into the earth. If you want to take it further, take it beyond the planet, take it blah, 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 blah. But at the very least, make it a nice, beautiful bubble about 500 meters behind, 500 meters in front, and just keep it nice and big. And what will happen is he will start to calm down. And if it's you that's driving and you're feeling it, do the expanding out tool for yourself. So it's like there's protection, but there's also that space of just being space. Because if you're just space, then there's nothing to stick you, right? Magical blessings. Okie dokie. Magical blessings. Whatever you're going through, you're being assisted by magical fairy blessings. The fairies say you can bless others too. So I just did a quick skim through, and it was like the fairies are also reminding you that you can bestow blessings on others. Showing our loved ones that we care is a form of blessing, especially to those who live alone or are feeling lonely. A visit, a smile, or a hug can make the world of difference. Just a kind and loving thought can also be a blessing. This card is also a reminder to count your blessings and focus on the positive aspects of your life. So what I wish to say to you right now is thank you. Thank you for reaching out and blessing me with your thoughts over this last month. It's been hugely challenging in so many ways, and ways I'm not going to talk about on here. But just the little messages that have popped through from yourself have really helped me to feel encouraged that I'm making the right choice, that I was doing everything that I required to do in the right time, and that everything was going to be okay. And I really appreciate that. And I know that there's other people in your world that, you know, with your children or other friends and things that you are just as beautiful with. And I'd like to say thank you. Thank you from me, because It's people like you in my world, Amanda, that truly make this life worth living. You make my life so much more beautiful because you're in it. And as I'm talking to you, there's also so many others that have been doing exactly the same as you in different ways, in their own little ways. So those magical blessings that you give other people, this is a moment for me to acknowledge from my heart to you how important they are. They may seem like nothing to you because they just come from your heart. But I just wish to let you know that they do actually mean a lot. Okay, your next card is Wisdom. Have you ever been told that you're wise beyond your years? Now is the time to call upon your inner fairy wisdom to help you with a challenge. This fairy is telling you it's time to call upon your own inner wisdom in order to help yourself at a challenging time, or perhaps someone you know could do with some insight into their situation. This wise fairy is accompanied by a white owl, owls being a symbol of wisdom. She tells you it's time for you to trust your own knowing and reminds you that wisdom doesn't only come with age. Wisdom is the ability to see the bigger picture. How relevant for you now that you're going to be turning the big 5, that potentially halfway point in your life. Where, like, I'm just assuming, not that we should assume, as we know from the 4 agreements, but there's a very good chance that you will live to see 100. And this is the halfway point. Like, how cool is that? And how much have you already learned? How much have we already shifted and changed and grown just in those short 50 years? Like, that's so cool. Anyway, back to what the card's saying. So fly silently like the owl and hear and see everything before coming to a decision based on this wisdom. Being wise doesn't mean you're right, but it does mean that you have the ability to see into situations in a more impartial way than many others can, and for the highest good of all concerned. We all have access to inner wisdom, and pulling this card shows that it's time for you to trust this fully. You could find yourself being asked for help or to facilitate a healing between 2 or more parties. This is where the wisdom comes in. Allow your intuition to speak through the filter of wisdom, but always remember that others have a choice and free will. So give loving advice, but not orders, and no one really likes being told what to do, including you. Yeah. Yes, you made it. Your mother didn't kill you. That's a joke, isn't it? When we're teenagers and we're being little shits. Pushing the boundaries of our envelopes. When our mothers think, oh my God, I don't know that this child is going to make it to their next birthday. They're driving me up the wall. You have one more card, my love, and that is music. Listen carefully, for there may be a message in the music you hear. Music can lift your soul, rekindle memories, and charm fairies to your door. Fairies love to listen to music and play music. All music stirs the emotions, and the music of the fairies can lure you into a dreamlike state of enchantment, where time stands still and the magic of the music is palpable. Try playing some gentle music and notice how it makes you feel. It's a powerful medium, so be mindful of the type of music you listen to as you work, rest, or play. Perhaps you could try creating your own fairy music or write some lyrics for your own fairy song or poem. You don't have to be a professional musician to do this. Everyone has some degree of musical ability. So try not to think about it too much and just allow the words or the music to flow. Don't be shy, sing your song and let your spirit fly and see how good this feels. If you pull this card, the fairies may be prompting you to turn on the radio and listen out for the lyrics of a song that touches your heart. There could be a poignant phrase in the words for you. Songs can rekindle memories and there could be a message in the music for you, so listen carefully. If you keep hearing the same song in different places, it's another sign to listen to the song with your heart. Love that. So, one more card, your yummy card. And then I'll tell you guys a funny story. Sacred! Your body is sacred. Your time is sacred. Your traveling is sacred. Your connection with your partner is sacred. Everything is sacred. That's a perfect, absolutely perfect. Your connection to the fairies is sacred. And it's time for you to really acknowledge that. And to see every moment as being a beautiful, sacred moment. Thank you so much, Amanda, for your very kind donation. I'm so super grateful for your continued support of Find You Fridays, of me, of Crafting Possibilities. You are literally helping to keep the show running. And thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful. This literally happened to me today. I've listened to a song over and over, yet today I heard the words and they spoke to me. Oh yeah. I had that the other day and I shared it with my friend in Canada and I was like, I have never actually listened to these words before, but they are perfect. It was 2 songs. I can't remember what they are now. But wow. Absolutely spot on perfect for where I was at, what I was moving towards. Just boof. And it was funny because it was like I was getting 2 songs and they were meshing together. It was like a mashup between the 2 songs, but they were quite different songs. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? So I looked at both of them and separately in the lyrics and I went, oh, I see now. Okay. Cool. So, funny story time. I don't struggle. I just prefer not to use white sage in my cleansing processes. I use Palo Santo instead. But of course, in my packing, I did not keep that at ready use. So I basically had to wait until I organically unpacked it, which was a few days into me being here. And in my bedroom, I have one of those pedestal fans. Sorry, not a pedestal, a tower fan. It's just a straight one. And it's really, really super quiet out here at nighttime. And because, like I said, I'm in the middle of a paddock. And I had the fan on and I kept hearing, it was kind of like really distant music or voices, and like it's almost like the neighbors 2 houses down were talking. You can kind of hear their voices, but you couldn't hear what they were saying. And I was like, why can I hear this sonic sound? And then I'd turn off my fan and it would go completely. And I was like, this is very strange. And then, so I turn the fan back on. What do you know? They come back. And I'm like, okay, right. We really do require to do a full cleansing on this house, because it happened 3 nights in a row. And then on Wednesday morning, I went to turn on the bedroom light and the fan turned itself on. And I was like, what? This is so weird, because this fan, you know, it's not like an automatic fan. You have to physically push a button to make it turn on. And I'm like, this is a bit odd. And the person my friend who gave me a ride back home after the car got crashed, they said, oh, you've probably got some electrical fault happening and it's sending up, you know, a bit of a short circuit or something up the line, and that's why the fan is turning on. And I'm like, given that I've heard voices / music, tones or whatever coming out of my fan, it's now done this whole weird electrical thing. Like, I get this point that it could be my team or my granddad saying hi, but my intuition said no, it's other entities, or it's energies rather, that are just floating around that need to go. So later on that day, actually, I did uncover the Palo Santo, and I did a full energy clearing using Reiki and the Palo, and a proper cleansing prayer on every single room of the house and all the walls and all the outside, you know, everything. And that was Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, we're now into Friday, and the fan hasn't turned itself back on since, and it hasn't made that funny noise since. So quite clearly we had some interesting residual energies in the house. And I've gotten rid of them, so that's good. But I just thought that was so funny. Hi, Kim. Lovely to see you. Thank you. This is the second iteration today. I had to jiggle things around a bit because I don't know if I can show you. Earlier, the tree was actually more directly behind me, and it made me look like the witch lady. I don't know. It was the 3 witches in Bette Midler, you know, with the red hair. It looked like her. It was so funny. Oh dear. Righty-ho. So yes, that was my funny spirit story from this house. I don't necessarily get that there's anything else hanging around now. I do get the sense that there's been a lot of transient old energies throughout this land, but nothing that is sticking as such. So it feels very clear. It doesn't feel like stock energies at all. You know, like if you've been on a property where maybe the native peoples may have passed away on that land or anything like that, that's got a very different kind of energy to it. All righty-ho. Christine. Judy says you never know who you're going to be sharing your house with. No, you don't. That's the funniest part about it. It's like, okay, cool, thank you. And I know the house feels so much better for having, you know, the energies cleared out of it. Now I'm going to have to scroll up a long way to get back to Christine's messages, because I didn't put the little stars on them. Okay. Okay. Think. I don't know what your second question is though, Christine. Okay. So she said that she's having issues with her internet, have to link to her phone. So while she's doing that, let's just see which pendulum would like to come and play. This is a car-related question. So who would like to talk to Christine about her car? Oh, excuse me. I'm getting a little tired. Yay, I don't have to put my hand up so high. This is good. All right. Okay, show me your yes. Thank you. Show me your no. Thank you. All right. Christine, you haven't asked the second question, or I don't understand what your message is. You're saying second question as to shaman oracles and goddess card guidance. I don't understand what you're asking about. Like those are the shaman's dream oracle is a set that I use, and the goddess card deck that I was using at that point was the Divine Feminine. That's the one that has come out tonight. I have a couple of different, like I have 3 different feminine goddess type quest like sets that I use from time to time, or 4 technically, depending on what they wish to bring forward. So I'm not quite comprehending what your question is. Amanda says, thank you for that beautiful reading and thank you for showing me your appreciation for me. It was lovely. I'm off to bed as always, up early. Me too, darling. I've been on holiday all week and my body is still insisting I wake up between 5 and 5:45. And it's like, come on. We don't need to be up this early anymore. Okay. So let's see. What will it create if Christine gets the Forester, a Subaru or Subaru, the Subaru Forester? Truth, what will it create in 1,000 years if Christine is to get a Mercedes? That's a straight no. Truth, what will it create in 1,000 years if Christine gets a BMW? Again, that's a no. Truth, what will it create in 1,000 years if Christine gets a Volvo? That's still a no. Truth, what will it create in 1,000 years if Christine gets the Subaru Forester? Okay, that's going around in circles, which is saying, yeah, maybe. It's not a straight up yes, but it's a, yeah, maybe. Have you tried asking the car? The reason why I'm asking that is because sometimes cars ask for us rather than they actually pick us. It's like houses pick us. I know this house was waiting for me. And it's happy that I'm here. So just maybe if you're in the market to get a used car, which I think you are, it might be wise to just go and have a talk with the car. See how it feels. Okay? Because the Subaru or the Subaru, depending on how you say it, yeah, exactly. Go to the dealer and check and feel the energy of the car, because you might find something that sticks out to you that you haven't even considered that could actually be, what we'd call a sleeper. So, for example, my personal car, would be considered a sleeper. Which in the car terms basically means it's one that people don't consider it to be very powerful, but it actually is. It's very powerful. It's very reliable. It's, does fun things at traffic lights when people aren't expecting it. Yeah. So yeah, just give that a go. All right. I can definitely do that. One card of each, no problems. See, random shit you learn from the people that you're around. I never knew about a sleeper until the last year and a half. Now I do. I don't know how I'm going to say this one. But I get that you will know how to say this one, potentially. Vajra Yogini. Okay, I think I got this one. Woo! So this is your goddess card, which is Vajra Yogini, the essence of all Buddhas. I have the power to make each movement sacred. Everything is material for my liberation. So she is pretty amazing, and her red body symbolizes her inner fire. The flames that surround her represent her exalted wisdom. Her third eye reflects her ability to see through the reality of all things in the past, present, and future. She carries the Dakini's curved knife, which cuts through all obstacles and illusions, and she holds a bowl of blood, which represents the bliss that awaits us when we release the ego's attachment to who we are. So when your soul selects her card, no matter what has happened recently or in the past, she reminds us that we possess the fierce wisdom that transmutes any pain or suffering into deep lessons that free us and bring us more joy. She is the call to wake up if we've fallen into that old myth that something or someone outside of us is going to save us. She's here to make it loud and clear that what is within us all will save us. We can take this moment right here, right now, to turn everything sacred. Her energy is sharp, intense, and uncompromising. She will not let you remain in an illusion or a disempowered story about who you really are. She wants you to sever all ties to your ego's relationship to a person or to an event in your life and see it again with the third eye, the wisdom that can perceive the deeper spiritual path beneath the human drama. This red female Buddha is the power we all have in every moment to take a seemingly everyday event or annoyance or unfortunate occurrence and use it for our own enlightenment. She reminds us that everything is rich material for us to use to elevate our reality as an embodied soul. Your soul voice meditation is, can I see the lesson in the chaos? And the intention is, I have the power to make each moment sacred. Everything is material for my liberation. Okay, so that's your goddess who is come to play. And your shamans. Your shaman's dream card is the perfect storm. I'm not going to read it again. Basically, you have a choice at the moment. All right? You have the choice to either fight and resist, and I think that the answer is also in the previous card, your ego, to fight and resist going with the flow, to fight and resist letting things go, letting people or situations go of the past go that is preventing you from moving forward, or you can roll with it. You can choose to be in the eye of the storm, or you can choose to be buffeted around by it. It's up to you. So there you go. That was your shaman's dream card. Couldn't have picked it if I tried. So this is about the courage to step into life. It's about your emotional intelligence and taking responsibility for your own emotional intelligence. Okay. Can't believe that card came out again. Fucking loves it. All right. Thank you for your donations, Christine. I am so grateful that you choose to tune in. And yeah, it's an interesting time, definitely is. And I'm so grateful for you for tuning in, for your beautiful donations that literally help to keep the show running. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's true, I pulled that this morning as well. Crap, this is a collective moving into the higher dimension. Validated 3 times, crap. Yep. You're welcome. All right, guys, we're not going to do a full meditation because it's already been nearly 3.5 hours and my body is getting a bit tired. However, what I would like to do with you for tonight, besides doing an expanding out, is I would like to do this little process with you that popped up in Melinda's reading earlier today or tonight. And it is to do with the alchemy. Okay. So taking a lovely big deep breath in and breathing out. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. Bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Expanding out your awareness now in a big bubble all around you, up into the sky, down into the earth. Expanding out your awareness. Out beyond the country that you're on. Out beyond the planet. Expanding out your awareness. Out beyond the solar system. Out beyond the galaxies. Out beyond the universes. And if you wish to go further than that, you're more than welcome. If you wish to just stay right here, that's okay too. Now focusing on your body once again, grabbing your sense of allowance and expanding that out. Expanding that out, your sense of allowance in a big bubble up into the sky and down into the earth. Remembering that as you expand out your sense of allowance, that's taking you from being the tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and brings you to a place of observation, of potency, where you have the ability to see beyond that raging river. You can see it for what exactly it is. It's not thoughts, feelings, and emotions, it's just energy. And none of it's yours. And now you can choose to respond and react or not. So expanding out your allowance beyond the country that you're in, beyond the planet, beyond the solar system. Beyond the galaxies, beyond the universes, and beyond your awareness. Please stick around after this meditation because I'm going to tell you what the fourth agreement is after we have done this. Right now, I would like you to rub your hands together vigorously for 40 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Then place your hands a few centimeters apart. Now visualize a golden ball of light in between your hands. Focus your intention on what you would like to create and place this intention into the golden ball of light. Give you a few moments. And now move your hands towards your heart. Feel your heart expand and grow full. And now we're going to ask our higher selves to guide us towards our deepest expansion and evolution. And so it is. Thank you. It is done. It's done. It is done. Take a big deep breath in and out. And just feel how different your heart feels now. Feel how different your space is now. One last breath, bringing Mother Earth energy with all that unconditional love all the way up through your body. Perceive how much freer that moves through your body now, and now breathing out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone. And as that gratitude hits your heart space, feel your heart space just open even wider. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those of you who have stuck around to the very end, the fourth agreement is always do. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It'll be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So with that, I say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everybody who has been a part of this show. Thank you to everybody who has sent me loving messages and just checking in with me over this last month. I'm so super grateful for every single one of you. I appreciate you and I wish you all the best for this week to come and this full moon energies. And with that, I encourage you, get out there, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. And until next time, I'll see ya. Have fun.